You know, if the Bruins just got the Angels in the outfield schedule, just the only home games, the oops all home games, they'd probably just win the cup.
This is hockey right here.
Bruins! Whoa! 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 Whoa!
All right, it's the Garden Level Podcast here on Rogue Media Sports Network. Dan Conlon, Cam Stuart here. We're going to have a very special guest joining us in just a minute, Eamonn McLean, Black and Gold Hockey. Dan, how about that weekend for you? It's pretty good, huh?
Great weekend. Yeah, great weekend. I only watched the first 60 minutes, so I saw the Bruins were up 3-0. So great win against Pittsburgh. They didn't have any other good players playing. So yeah, great win. Those are the games you got to win.
Exactly. Key win in Pittsburgh. You know, you take down a team that's ahead of you, but probably about the same level as you. You know, they don't have Malkin. They don't have Crosby. You get some goals on the board. You win on the road.
No Brazeau,
big 2-point game. They just lost the day before. Yeah, that no Brazeau, so you don't have that goal scoring threat. That's a huge dub. Good for Pavel Zacha. And oh shit, I'm getting some breaking news into the program. Dan, I don't know if you know this, but Eamonn McLean just texted me from Black and Gold Hockey. Eamonn, you just broke some bad news to me about the Penguins game.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I was at the Bruins-Penguins game. I can confirm that the Penguins actually, unfortunately, did come back and win the game in overtime, 5-4.
What?
Yeah, very unfortunate stuff. Yeah, a lot of happy people in Pittsburgh. I was not one of them.
Can I start with this question? Was it as bad to watch? Was it worse in person as it was on TV, or was it better or same? You know, how was it in person? Because TV was pretty bad.
Well, I had great seats for the game, which was nice, or bad, I guess, depending on how you view it. Because I mean, I got to watch the Bruins just get ran over in the third period in 4K. But yeah, overall, like, it was actually a pretty good experience. Like, PPG Pace Arena had never been before. They actually have a lot of cool like fan promotions. Like the first period, they had pizzas, like, but instead of like the way the Bruins give it away, where it's like fan of the game, they have like parachutes, and they drop these parachutes with like pizzas attached to them, and they just land throughout the crowd. And then they do like they have a t-shirt cannon, but it's like a t-shirt machine gun essentially. And they have like whatever the Penguins version of like the like Ice Girls is. They like line it up and they fill this like t-shirt machine gun cannon thing, and it just fires out like 30 t-shirts within 5 seconds of this crowd. And like people are just jumping, like elbowing each other in the face trying to get these Penguins t-shirts. It was honestly a sight to see. It was honestly very entertaining. But yeah, obviously just disastrous game for the Bruins.
It's crazy to see
inexcusable loss.
When you go like around the country to other markets outside of Boston and New York, like the marketing teams do with free giveaways. Like I don't know which baseball team is doing that, like $30 deal, get unlimited hot dogs, French fries, and soda for the whole game. Yeah,
I think the Marlins had one as well.
Yeah, so it's like crazy. Once you go outside of Boston, these promotions are crazy. Just shows how different markets work.
Yeah, for sure.
The Jacobs aren't giving away that kind of deal anytime soon.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. I hate to sound so uppity, but like here, there's no doubt people are going to the games. Like Penguins too, right? People are going to Penguins games. But like you do see that. I would go to, when I lived in Texas, I would go see the Bruins play in Dallas every year. And it was like going to a double-A baseball game sometimes. It's like, God, like the things that they do just to get people fired up in here. I'm like, can we just watch the hockey, please? So that changes things on this episode, Dan, that the Bruins actually lost this game. I mean, next you're going to tell me they lost that Stadium Series game when I had the flight that early the next morning and I went to bed at 5-1.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's just crazy talk. It's episode 23 of the Garden Level Podcast. Favorite number 23, Eamonn? Bruins number 23?
Current Bruins assistant coach Chris Kelly, 2011 Stanley Cup champion.
I feel like the Gonzo. I feel like the Gonzo Muppet, like from Christmas Carol. He's like, who was not on the 2011 team because Zdeno Chara just didn't say his name when he named off every other teammate that he had.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Remember that, Dan? Dan was there.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it at the time.
I didn't either.
But
and he wasn't there in person.
Shane Knighty and does not say Chris Kelly.
Yeah, that's like Thomas Caberlet.
Yeah, that's really something. I thought he was going to go.
Chris Kelly's a good one because after Chris Kelly, it just goes down and down and down. I'll mention JFK, not the president. Jacob Forsbacka Carlson. Once a top prospect that just never made it through in Don Sweeney's system.
Nor anybody else's, really. JFK. I think we could say R.I.P. JFK. This is Bruins' career. 23. I would like to go with like an old one, but I don't know that I know a great old one. I think Steve Hines wore 23. I could be wrong on that. So my next one is to go to Fabian Lysell, who just, I can't believe at the trade deadline, people were still talking about like, well, what can Lysell get you? Do you want to trade Lysell? I'm like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Fabian Lysell is never going to be a contributor on this team. Like, I'm sorry. I believed in him too. Like that's hand up. Okay. But like, I don't think Fabian Lysell is going to be a contributor on this team. I don't. Does that make me a sourpuss, fellas?
No.
I was actually interested to see what they did with him.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a young Bruins player, don't pick the number 23 because with the record we've had with JFK, Jack Studnicka was 23.
Yes.
Fabian Lysell 23. It's just if you're a young guy trying to make this team, don't pick 23. If Will Zellers picks 23 in 2 years, I'll be devastated.
Can't have it. Can't have it. Man, that's the only thing that could derail Dean Letourneau at this point with how hot that kid is if he just wears number 23. So they didn't trade Fabian Lysell at the trade deadline because they really didn't trade anybody that's worn a real Boston Bruins uniform. They didn't really get anybody that's going to play in a Boston Bruins uniform. I don't think we're terribly surprised that they didn't bring anybody in of any note. I was pretty surprised they didn't sell off some pieces, although shoot, man, after this weekend, maybe the extension talks with Victor Arvidsson are a good idea. He's one of the only guys that can play for you. Eamon, surprised at how it played out on Friday?
Not really. I mean, not as so much as how it played out at the Bruins. I guess more just league wide, I'd say.
Yeah. Pretty boring.
I didn't really know what to expect of the Bruins. Like, I think going in, I probably thought they'd make like a smaller addition or something, like maybe like what Columbus did with Garland. But I mean, after that Nashville performance the other night, I mean, I couldn't really blame them for not bringing anybody in. That was just disgraceful. Just an awful, awful game. But yeah, overall, I was a little surprised they moved Brett Harrison. I thought he was having a pretty good year in Providence. Bringing in those two guys from the Flyers. And then, yeah, Lucas Reichel is kind of interesting. He had a pretty good Olympics, I thought, with Team Germany. But, yeah, it sounds like they're all going to Providence at least to start. I'd imagine we'll see Reichel at some point. Not really sure about the other two, but, yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was an all right deadline. I personally would have liked to see them move off of Andrew Peak, I think.
I can't believe he's still on the team. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
and he's like, whatever. I mean, right? It's not, it's not like he's not killing you or anything, but I'm just stunned that he's still on the team.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like they're a good defensive team with him. I mean, they've just been brutal in their own end. I mean, at the same time, like, I don't know what the offers were, if there even were any offers. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if there was a real offer, I mean, I'd hope they'd have considered it, but I mean, I don't know for sure. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, I didn't think there was any chance they'd move Arvidsson. I just didn't see that happening. So I wasn't really surprised he stayed, but Peak I was definitely a little surprised by. I thought for sure he'd probably be gone, just especially because he was healthy scratched at coming out of the Olympics.
A couple times, right? Couple games leading up to that. Well, yeah, that would have been 3 games between the 4 games between the Olympic break ending and the trade deadline.
Yeah,
I like that line though. It's not very good with him. Not very good defensively when he's on the ice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they scratched him for the Columbus game too, which I mean is his former team. Like normally, you'll almost always see players play against their former team. So I thought that was definitely a like pretty obvious sign he was probably going to be moved, but I mean, obviously not. So, yeah, definitely that was probably the biggest surprise I'd say from a Bruins perspective for me. That one I didn't see coming. I thought for sure he'd be on a different team come today.
No, and the biggest thing I think I got from the Bruins deadline is that Providence is all in this year for this playoff run.
Wagon.
They added a little bit at the deadline, so I'm excited what's going to happen in Providence this year. Don Sweeney did a good job adding to that team. I agree. I thought Peak would be gone too as well. I think he could have gotten you a second with how the deadline was going and what other players were getting you. I'm happy that we didn't go buy send a first round pick for Folk, something like that. So in that scenario, I'm happy we still have our pockets full with the assets and capital and prospects that we had going into it. This draft is pretty exciting and deep, so we could have we're gonna have 3 picks in the top 60 most likely. Where the first one ends up, that's still a question mark. Hopefully, we still have it. But I'm curious what you guys think now the deadline's over. You mentioned a few minutes ago the possibility of an Arvidsson extension. We really haven't heard anything on that front from anyone. I think Arvidsson was asked that the other day, have you talked about it? And he just kind of gave a bland answer. We haven't really talked about it. I'm open to it, but who knows? So, what do you guys think it will take to get Arvidsson to return? What do you think his next contract will look like?
Eamon, you know more about this than me, but I would say not much, right? Not a ton. You're not breaking the bank.
Yeah, I mean, he is a bit older. I mean, he is having a great season though. I think he was on pace for 25 goals last time I checked. I think it might have gone up.
Which will get you a 3 or 4 year deal.
Yeah, it should. But I don't know if the Bruins should be the one to give him 3 or 4 years, just given where they are. For me, I'm fine extending them, but I would do 1 or 2 years personally. I'd be fine if they did a higher AAV or something just to keep the years down, just because, he's gonna be, I believe he turns 33 in April, off the top of my head. I might be mixing him up.
That's right. 33 this year.
Yeah. So, I mean, a 3-year deal, he'd be 36 by the time the contract expires. I mean, I just don't really think that's a wise investment from the Bruins perspective. Nothing against Victor Arvidsson. I'm not saying he's going to be a bad player by the time he's 36 or anything, but just given where the Bruins are, the amount of, forward prospects they have between Hagens, Letourneau, Zellers, Cooper Simpson, then obviously they have 4 firsts in the next 2 years. So I think it's reasonable to assume they'll probably draft at least 1 or 2 forwards with those. You kind of need spots to play all these guys eventually, right? So I just kind of worry about, if you sign Arvidsson for 3 or 4 years and his play deteriorates a little bit, most players do as they get older. It's just kind of a fact of life. I don't really want his contract blocking a Zellers or a Simpson or somebody from entering this lineup in 2 or 3 years if their play earns it. That's just my concern, really. I think 2 years would be a perfect stopgap contract personally. I would go 2 times 4.5, 2 times 5 with trade protection. I think that might get the job done, but it also might not. You never know, especially just given how shallow this UFA class is.
Yeah, that was going to be my main concern, quote unquote concern, because if he walks or gets traded, right, it's not the end of the world for me. But I think someone will feel like they're close. Maybe someone I don't know, Edmonton might think they're close and go out and get Victor Arvidsson and be like, yeah, dude, we'll pay you 4.2 over a couple of years, or AAV for a couple of years because of where the salary cap's going. We think we're that close. Because to me, Arvidsson is the 8th inning, the setup man who's just having a nasty year. And you're like, he's having a nasty year, but in theory, you can pick up one of those guys every year, right? Like, again, Arvidsson's having a good season. And I guess with Don Sweeney's track record, it's tough to say he could just pick one of these guys up every year. But you look at the last couple of seasons, like, for the exception of last year, the Bruins have been able to patchwork production. 24, they did it with Van Riemsdyk. Like, he gave you a good half a year. Coyle gave you a career year. DeBrusk gave you a good half a year. You know what I mean? And you kind of got production there. I think you can do that if you let Arvidsson walk. Maybe I'm being naive, fellas, but like, I think you can plug a hole, a Arvidsson-size hole, if he left, even though he's got more 5-on-5 goals than David Pastrnak does this year.
Yeah,
that's a very interesting stat right there. But I think
Pasta might have tied it. Might have tied him yesterday. I don't know, but last I
he
checked,
scored though. The drought is over.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree with Arvidsson. If he walks, it's not a huge deal. We traded a 5th-round pick to get him, so it's not like, we traded a first or we bought at the deadline and got him, and then he just walks after that. If you sign him, what you said, I think if you can do a higher AAV for 2 years, you could add like a no movement clause again if you want. But the no movement clause is what probably kept him in Boston this past trade deadline. So if he's asking for 3 or 4 years, then I'd be like, you're not getting a no movement clause if you're asking for more term than that. So you don't want to be him blocking guys like Zellers and Dean and other young guys that could be coming up in the next 2 or 3 years or so. So you gotta just protect yourselves at all costs. And if he walks, and you just gotta trust your instincts.
Yeah,
guys,
I would agree with that.
This Arvidsson talk and the prospects in there, it got me thinking. And I meant to start the episode with this, but I gotta get this out into the world. I know this is a safe space, and you guys will understand what I'm talking about here. Okay, so I was thinking about this Sunday when the Bruins were up 3-0. And I was thinking, like, you know what? It's a pretty good spot to be in right now as a Bruins fan. Not just the 3-0 lead, just in general. Like, I was thinking about it this weekend. It's not the perfect spot because you're not competing for a Stanley Cup. That's the perfect spot. But you can't ask for much better as a Bruins fan than what we will have for the rest of the season, right? You're not awful. You're in a playoff spot. You're clinging onto it for dear life, but damn it, you're there, right? You're not expected to win. You're not even expected to make the playoffs. You don't have to worry about tanking because you've got 2 first-round picks this year. And like, you didn't need to have all this anxiety that you didn't sell because you know what? One of the teams that you have the first-round pick from, they are selling. So they're going to suck. That's going to be a good pick. You don't have to worry about that. In no world are you getting a top 5 pick, but you could get a top 10 pick. And so now you're in the situation where you have a good prospect pool for the first time in a while. You have got your core pieces locked down. McAvoy, Pastrnak, Swayman, Geeky, locked down. You're going to have money to spend. You are going to have trade chips to trade. You have someone else's first-round pick. Like, this is a free hit as a Bruins fan. This is actual house money. You just root for them to make the playoffs because you like the playoffs. And if they lose in the first round, who gives a shit? You got Toronto's pick. Who cares? If your pick is whatever, 21, who cares, man? You finally at least have a first-round pick. So like this, like they just like twisted my balls on Sunday. Like, that sucked. But overall, like, this is an awesome spot to be in if you're not competing to win the cup. And I was thinking about it after Buffalo won that crazy friggin' game Sunday night against Tampa, that 8-7. And the place was buzzing. And I'm like, good for Buffalo, man. Like, good for them. They've been in the shit for 15 years. Like, good for them. And then I was thinking, man, but if the Bruins blow this, it could be Buffalo-Columbus in the first round when it should be Buffalo and Boston in a playoff series. Like, and would we be the underdogs? Yeah, totally. But like, let's go. Let's maybe get a team that's inside their own head because the franchise hasn't been in the playoffs in 15 years and they don't know how to react. And maybe that's our key to winning a playoff round. But also the place is going to be buzzing. The building's going to be alive. It is a good hockey town. There's something of a rivalry there, like old Bruins Sabres. Like, it's neither team's biggest rival by far, but there is some rivalry there, especially when you look at 2010. Like, to me, that is like the dream scenario. Last team in, face Buffalo in the first round, get some just buzzing arenas, get some good high-octane games, and then we pick another stud with Toronto's pick. Like it could be perfect. It could be perfect. But some tells me they are going to veer off the road, which very well could happen. And we're going to be like, well, shit. Now you got 2 picks between 7 and 20, but you didn't even get the 2 home playoff games. You guys understand what I'm saying? Like, it could have been the best.
Yeah. I mean, like that loss sucks, but at the same time, they got 3 of 4 points on a back-to-back. I mean, it's a 750 points percentage.
Look at this guy. Eamon's trying to bring positive thoughts into this.
That's just kind of like it's kind of me coping, honestly. I'll be honest, but I mean,
in theory, it is.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way I try to view it. I mean,
this was Eamonn walking out of PPG Paints Arena, by the way. 3 out of 4 points. 3 out of 4 points.
No.
Someone flipping him off, telling him he sucks. He's like, "Hey, 3 out of 4 points."
No, the people in Pittsburgh are very friendly. Surprisingly, they're actually very nice. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be a much more hostile environment.
It's just the other side of Philadelphia, other side of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the issue.
No, but I mean, we saw earlier this season when the Bruins lost the Lightning in the Stadium Series game. The response game was obviously going to be big, and I thought they put together a pretty good effort in that game against the Panthers. Just obviously lost in a shootout. Not really much you can do about it. They're missing Zaka and Lindholm, but then obviously that missed 5-minute major on McAvoy. It was just kind of a weird game, but they still found a way to get a point out of it. Like I'm looking ahead this week. You have LA tomorrow, who are playing right now against Columbus. So they're going to be tired. You should absolutely win that game. Then you have San Jose on Thursday. They're a decent team, but you should still beat them, in my opinion, especially at home. And then Saturday, you have Washington on the road, which should probably be a tough game, just given our road struggles. But I mean,
I was going to say, is it at the Garden? No,
no, it's in Washington.
It's probably going to be tough then. Yeah, probably be tough.
But I mean,
Washington's interesting. Washington might be done.
Yeah,
Washington might be cooked.
The Bruins have won in Washington to start the year. So, I mean, they've done it before. They can probably do it again, right? So, I mean, if they can get 6 of 6 points this weekend or even 5 of 6, I mean, they're in a pretty good spot. I mean, Columbus and Columbus, the Islanders, the Penguins, they're not going to win every single game, right? So, just keep the pressure on. I think they're in good shape.
And with how the schedule is, I wanted to ask, Korpisalo has given up, a lot of goals the past 2 games. Not all of his fault. He's given up, I think, 10 goals in the past 2 games. So at what point, I think Sturm said early in the season he's going to take it as a 2 or 3 game approach, just look at for the next 2 or 3 games. But with how Swayman's been playing, he's 8-0 at home, has a .939 save percentage in 2026 at home as well. Obviously, start him at home, start the home games with Swayman. But how do you think they should go about their goalie schedule with the last remaining 19 games? Should they keep kind of doing the 50-50 split, which Swayman's a little bit more comfortable with and has had more success, or do you think he should be starting 13, 14 of those games? I know there's 5 back-to-back, so he won't be doing the back-to-backs, but how do you think they should go about this goalie schedule the last 19 games of the season?
Yeah, I don't know about the full 19, but if it was me and I was dragging out these next 5 games, I would start Swayman all 3 games this week. I mean, you have to take care of business these 2 games at home. And then, I mean, you have days off in between each of these games, so you can rest Swayman. I think the next start for Korpisalo would probably be the Devils game for me. Because, I mean, it's a traveling back-to-back. You play Montreal the next night. You need Swayman in net in the Bell Center, I think. just given you're going to be tired. Legs are probably going to be a little heavy that game. And then obviously it's a huge game. I mean, the Bruins aren't far off Montreal or honestly any of the other teams of the Atlantic, Montreal and Detroit. They're not far off at all. I mean, if those teams lose 2 games in a row, the Bruins win 2 games in a row, they're right there with them. So that's a huge chance to swing the standings of the Bruins direction, in my opinion.
I'm there with you. Like at this point, I'm like, man, let's just do Swayman as much as possible. And as much as possible becomes a little up in the air when you saw the numbers last year, when he had a full workload for the first time, at full workload and then some. He started over 50 games. And it was as bad as it's been. I don't know if that was because of the preseason, having none of it, the pressures of the contract, the fact that the Bruins defense in front of him sucked, which at times they do again this year. But like Swayman is, and I think this gets overlooked, not on this podcast, but in Bruins fandom in general. I mean, God, don't go on Facebook. Like Jeremy Swayman is a big reason why they are here in the first place, why
Absolutely.
they are clinging on to a playoff spot. I mean, the guy, for the most part, has been nails this season. And last year, he like bottomed out in the goal save above expected. He's top 3 in that. He's still top 5 in the Vezina Trophy odds on all the gambling sites. Like he is still considered to be having one of the greatest seasons in the league this year. And everyone remembers that he gave up a goal from the red line in the Olympics. And they're like, "Oh, trade Swayman." It's like, you're never going to win anything with him based on nothing. This is a guy who is pretty much the reason that you're in the playoff hunt right now. And it's interesting. I go back to when they were doing the contract negotiations, and a lot of people threw out there like, he's won 1 playoff series. How can you pay a guy over $8 million? He's won 1 playoff series. And I get that. I actually do get that argument. But now when we look at it, fellas, it's like, yeah, that team probably didn't have any business winning a playoff series. So if we get there, if we ride this kid to get into the postseason, he could steal another one for us. Like that, he was the reason they won that series. He's the biggest reason they are where they're at right now. Like it's almost like not up time for Swayman. Like, this is now year 2 of being the guy, and you've rocked it so far. Like that's not a criticism here. You've nailed it so far. But here we go. A month left in the season. You get a couple back-to-backs. You're not going to play on the back-to-backs. But we got to ride you like a stallion the rest of the way here. Like you've got to be our guy. If you're the 8.25 and you're the Vezina Trophy candidate, which you are right now, you got to give us a shot here down the stretch. Your defense is what it is. Some nights it's fine. Some nights it's dog shit. Okay? Some nights this team can score 5 for you. But when they play Washington, they'll score 2. Okay? So, like, that is where I'm at right now. 19 games left. I'd love to see him play 13 of them. That's a lot. And that's the 5 back-to-backs. That takes out most of the Korpisalo starts right there. The big week ahead. I got to see a lot of number 1 in between the pipes.
Yeah, and I mean, if you do make the playoffs, it's not like you're going to rotate Korpisalo into the net. You know what I mean? Swayman's going to play every single game unless, they're getting blown out and he's got to get pulled for whatever reason, right?
Swayman just plays the home games in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, but I mean, yeah, I'm right there with you. I think, I'd have to look at the schedule and see all the back-to-backs and stuff. But for me, I'm riding Swayman until he gives me a reason not to start him personally. Look, if they go out tomorrow and Swayman gives up 6 goals and looks terrible, then yeah, by all means, give Korpisalo the next game. But I'd start him until he has a bad game personally, or a back-to-back comes around. That's just where I am right now. Points are at such a premium. Like, look, yesterday, I have a hard time blaming Korpisalo for that game. I blame the Bruins defense more than anything. The second goal was just atrocious for Maspero. To be fair, I would have liked to save, but it was also a good shot by Connor Dewar. You just tip your cap. You can't give up a breakaway 30 seconds after a goal. It's just ridiculous. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing?
Maspero and McAvoy on the ice for 3 of them. Oof.
Yeah,
Guys
Brilliant.
really
and
great
then,
seasons.
I mean, part of it's on Sturm too. I mean, for me, I would have given Aspro the hook after the third goal. I mean, they did bench him after the fourth one, but for me, I mean, I think right after that was where I would have, sat him for the rest of the night. He's had a great season, but I mean, you play like that, you just can't keep getting a regular shift, unfortunately, in the NHL. So, I'll be interested to see what the D-core looks like tomorrow night. I would think, I mean, they haven't really healthy scratched Aspro at all, so I'd imagine it'll be back out there. But I mean, I'd like to see some more Jordan Harris personally. I mean, he played one game in like 2 months. I mean, they got killed, but I didn't think he was the reason they got killed. So I mean, might as well give him a try, keep people on their toes. So it's kind of my opinion on it. There's not really any one solution fixes all of this D-core at the moment. It's probably gonna be a summer thing. So
Yeah. And then I'll go back a little bit from your perfect Bruins scenario that you said with them making the playoffs and also getting a top 10 pick. That's awesome. At what point the Toronto Maple Leafs have not won a game in a month? They've sold at the deadline. They traded away a few good players. Um,
Have
they
you won
not
a game
in-
in the last month?
So yeah, at what point do you guys get a little worried? I think Eamon, you put out a tweet about percentages of getting a top 5 pick. Are you guys getting a little worried? I personally am not. There's a lot of teams in the West that have less points to them. Most of the teams that aren't in the playoffs in the West have less than 65 points, which the Maple Leafs currently have, I believe. So at what point do you guys get a little bit worried that the Maple Leafs might get a top 5 pick? Because I'm not there yet, but I would like them to beat Montreal tomorrow for our personal reason for the Bruins, but also maybe give us a little bit of cushion. And I'll take the 8th overall pick. I don't need 6. I'll take 8. I'll take whatever.
yeah, I mean, just one thing to keep in mind with the way the draft lottery works. I was pulling up Tankathons while I was looking at my phone. The team that finishes 5th, obviously this pick's top 5 protected. There's actually a higher chance of them picking 6th or 7th combined than there is them picking in the top 5.
As Bruins fans should know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
last year.
so they need to be in the bottom 4, Eamon? Is that what you're telling us?
So they would need to. I mean, they're not catching the Canucks. The Canucks are just. I think on
They're
pure wins
horrible.
and losses, the Canucks are like 1944.
Yes, the Canucks, I looked up, have I think it was 4 wins in their last 37 games.
Yeah, so they are not
does
catching
include
that team.
does
They could-
include a win in Boston.
I think there's a real chance that if the Leafs lost every single game the rest of the season, they still would not catch the Leafs. I mean the Canucks.
The Canucks.
In the tank race.
We should test that out. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. But I mean, Rangers in Chicago, yeah, I also don't see that. Calgary, I also don't see them overtaking. St. Louis and Winnipeg, it does start to get a little hairy. I think they're only 6 points back of the Leafs. But I mean, even then, I don't think both of them would catch them, right? So, I mean, I still think they probably finish somewhere in the 5 to 8 range pre-lottery. I'm not worried about it yet. And I mean, even if like they do get a top 5 pick, I mean, the alternative is we just get unprotected first of a team that sucks. So I mean, it's not the worst.
Well,
thing.
you don't think the Leafs are going to put it together next year? You really?
Absolutely
you don't
not.
think so?
I think there's a better chance they're worse next year than they are this year.
I was surprised to see them honestly selling, Eamon. I don't know about you. Like they should have, right? That was the right move, but
I don't think they did enough. That's my opinion.
So they got rid of Waugh, they got rid of Lawton, and
McMahon.
McMahon.
Yeah, they only got rid of
sorry,
2
McKinnon.
rentals. The only player with term they traded was Waugh. I mean, I'm looking at that team. There's all these reports that they're going to meet with Matthews. I mean, what are you going to get realistically with 1 first-round pick that's going to change the team in a trade? I mean, the asking price for Thomas was what? Two good players under 21 and 2 firsts. I mean, that's not even going to get you a quarter of the way there. I mean, what are you gonna get via trade that's gonna make Austin Matthews go, oh yeah, I want to stay here. This is great. This is so much fun.
I mean, dude, honestly, like the thing that would get him to stay is whatever haul you could get back for Nylander. Like that's maybe Nyes. Nyes will get you a decent haul. Not Nylander size, but like that's kind of where you're at when you don't have any. I know you got one back in the WAD deal, but like you don't have first round picks. You don't have prospects. You know, like I've seen this before, man. I've seen this before. And not everyone can have Don Sweeney. Like if you're a Leafs fan, it might be trading one of those top two guys. It might
I mean,
be
I think it's a foregone conclusion, honestly, that Matthews leaves the Leafs at this point.
Bruin.
No, I can't see him
LA.
ever getting traded here, but I
I do
wouldn't
think
be
they'll trade
insane
him,
in
though.
LA
Just
either.
They're not.
at the wall.
They won't let him. They saw what happened with Marner. They will not let Matthews walk. They will trade him. You know, maybe in the off season of 2027 or something. But I think they saw the full effect of just letting a superstar walk out the door and not getting. Well, they got something for him
Got
now.
a first
but
round pick afterwards.
Yeah, got a first round pick for him, late 20s. But yeah, it'll be interesting how the Matthews saga plays out. I'm here to watch. I'm happy. I'm happy I'm
100%.
not a Toronto fan.
Toronto
for
will give you
many
that first round
reasons.
pick back. We'll give it back to you. Straight up. First rounder for Matthews.
Yeah.
A protected second in 2028.
Yeah, I mean, I think the worst case scenario for this pick now, realistically, is the Leafs win like 4 or 5 games to end the season, and that pick ends up like 9th or 10th overall. Like that's where I'm at with it. I'm really not worried at all. Like, I mean, yeah, it'd probably be a little annoying if they won the lottery and it got pushed next year, but I mean, realistically, I don't really see where this the big improvement's gonna come for them. Honestly, I just don't see it. I think it's a bad roster. I mean, I think Marner definitely helped them in the regular season get to the playoffs a lot. Now, did he help them in the playoffs? Not a ton, but I mean, he helped them get there, which is half the battle.
It is crazy though. Like you just pointed out, Eamon, that's not a good roster. Like this point last year,
terrible.
This point last year, I couldn't say that as much as I hate the Leafs, but this is not a very good roster. You know, you've got 2 really good forwards at the top, right? But one of them in Austin Matthews, and yeah, I would take him on the Bruins. But like he's not the goal scorer anymore, you know? And Nylander will take weeks off. And Nyes is a nice player. After that, Matthias Michelli, like Easton Cowan watches from up top every game.
Yeah. I mean, I think that team's going to get worse before they get better, personally. I just don't see a turnaround coming quickly. And I mean, I think part of that's reflective in, you know, how many of their players they had to hold on to, because, you know, teams wouldn't pay trade asking prices because they just probably don't think they're very good, to be honest with you. It's not me trying to, you know, rip anybody. It's just probably, you know, NHL GMs looking at players and just going, yeah, they're not worth that price that you want. And you know, I think that's kind of reflective of why they had to hold on to it.
I need the Dilfer clip. I should have had the Dilfer clip ready. They're just not good anymore. They're just not good anymore. But that's really what it comes down to, man. They don't score a lot of goals. They give up a lot of goals. They never got the goalie situation right. They really never got the defense right either. Shout out Carlo.
Yeah.
And now they're paying for it. Like as bad 100%. As they've had to pay for it in the Matthews era. This is
to get ahead of ourselves a little bit. If they end up with like the 8th pick, is there any players you guys have seen in that range that you would like the Bruins to select if they do end up with the 8th pick? Do you go best available? I've seen like the Rudolph a lot, Daxton Rudolph, the defenseman, right shot. Are there any names that are popping out to you that you would like if they get a top 10 pick?
I could think of like 6 I'd take.
Let's go. Let's go, Eamon. Let's go.
I mean, it's house money, really. I can't really complain too much. As long as they don't go crazy off the board, I don't think we're going to be too upset with whatever we get. I mean, ideally, I think he probably goes before, but I love Albert Smits, the Latvian. I think he'd be awesome. Defenseman. I mean, I think he's really close to NHL ready. He is left-handed, which is kind of, I mean, obviously the Bruins probably need a right-handed defenseman more, but I mean, I would still take him over, I think, most of the right-hand defensemen available. I mean, I think he's going to be a legit like top pairing defenseman in the National Hockey League. I think he's someone that, I mean, one thing that worries me in this retool is Hampus Lindholm, Zadorov aging. That maybe all of a sudden you need two top pairing, not top pairing, excuse me, top four defensemen instead of just one to replace Carlo. Smiths is basically an insurance policy to make sure that never happens. That for me would be awesome. I would be really happy with that. I'd also go Oscar Hemming for forward. He's at BC, plays with James Hagens. That would be nice. But I mean, personally, I think they need a D more. It's just my opinion, but yeah, that's kind of just where I'm at. I'd prefer a defenseman, but I wouldn't complain if they ended up with Oscar Hemming.
Yeah, dude.
I've been looking at some mock
Hemming's
drafts. I've been looking at some mock drafts, and I've seen Hemming range from 10 to 17 right now. I think he's rising on a lot of boards, but my dream scenario would be drafting a defenseman with a top 10 pick and then hoping maybe Hemming falls if the Bruins are the last team out or the first team out of the playoffs or the last team not to make the playoffs. If you get a pick at 15, 16, maybe they could draft Hemming. That'd be my dream scenario, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think that's all that unrealistic, honestly.
Yeah, that's actually
especially
a good
if the
point.
Bruins.
Yeah.
Part of the reason, like, even if the Bruins do miss the playoffs, I'm not going to be too upset about it. I mean, worst case, just get a slightly higher draft pick. This year was always supposed to be a transition year. So I'm not kind of just at the point. I'm like, it's been a good season. Whatever happens, happens. As long as, nothing like terrible happens. Like, as long as everybody stays healthy, I think you can just live with whatever happens.
Yeah, interesting to note. We've had on this show, we've talked about Tynan Lawrence earlier in the year. He's still slotted. In fact, the mock I'm looking at right now has him at number 7 with Toronto's pick going to the Bruins. That center, you can never have enough centers, but the Bruins are close to having too many centers. Vigo Bjork's another one we talked about, another center, kind of in that range. But if you're looking at D-men, unsurprisingly, there's going to be a couple in the top 5, right? Verhoff's going to go 2 or 3, depending on how people feel about Stenberg. You'll probably have Chase Reed gone at that time too. And then Eamon's guy, Albert Smits, is also in that top 5, top 6 range. And then that next one is who Dan talked about is Daxon Rudolph. Daxon doesn't feel like a real name, but he's a right shot defenseman. Okay. I'm here for it.
Like
that kind of goes.
Name.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Anglo Daxon Rudolph.
Interpret that however you want.
That is, I mean, he's got 2 reindeer names. Like it's crazy how that works. Man,
Dasher and Dixon. Yeah, right.
Sure.
Rudolph.
Yeah, those are his brothers.
That's how the song goes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Daxon.
Parents were a fan of the movie, I guess.
Yeah, big fans. They couldn't get enough of it. So then those guys are kind of out of the top 10, but I think there's going to be a right shot defenseman for them there. And unlike last year was like, no doubt, just take the best damn player. And it's probably going to be a center at 7. You ended up with the best case scenario with Hagens. I was thinking about this actually to bring another sports thing in here when the Patriots couldn't get Alec Pierce because he signed, a record deal to re-sign with the Colts. Like I was thinking wide receivers are becoming like left tackles in the NFL. Like they don't hit the market, like not as much as they used to. You can't just get that position in free agency all the time if you're looking to build. Like in hockey, the right shot defenseman is becoming that, or like catcher in baseball. You know what I mean? Like centers were that way and still are that way. The real best centers don't hit the market. That's how you pay almost $8 million a year to Elias Lindholm. But it's starting to become that way for right shot defensemen too. You can't just get top pairing right shot defensemen on the open market. Like they don't hit it there. You got to draft and develop them.
Yeah. I was honestly a little surprised they didn't draft one this past draft. I thought for sure. I thought for sure, I'm pretty sure every player they drafted this year was left-handed too, which is kind of weird. Just off the top of my head,
I think of the top
Hagens,
4,
Moore, Pedersen are all lefties.
Blenar.
Simpson's a lefty. Blenar's a lefty. Who else? I think who else they drafted. Oh, Yelyanov's a lefty. Chandler's a lefty. Yeah,
that
so
year the Angels just drafted pitchers and like none of them worked.
yeah, they're all lefties.
Yeah.
Just kind of odd, but yeah, definitely something weird. But yeah, I mean, they need a right shot defenseman. I mean, they know that. I mean, they tried for Rasmus Anderson. Honestly, given how Vegas has played, maybe a blessing in disguise he went there, honestly.
His numbers are worse, man. His numbers are worse than when he was playing for like the second worst team in the league.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And Vegas can't beat anybody.
Be honest, I don't watch Vegas. I couldn't care less about that team. I think they're one of the most annoying organizations in sports. Don't put myself through watching it.
They've lost 13 of the last 14 against playoff teams, Eamon. Maybe you should watch them. It's fun. It's a hate watch. Telling you.
Yeah, I said at the beginning of the year that Eichel would regret signing there because that team's not going anywhere fast. And I had a bunch of people yell at me. And look, I was correct as always.
That's kind of putting your balls on the table, Eamon. That's right after they got Marner. I mean, I respect the hell out of that take.
I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, one player doesn't make a team. I mean,
yeah.
Look at their roster. They're all aging so quickly. I mean, Pietrangelo is just unbelievable. It's going to be next to impossible to replace him via trade or free agency because I mean, you're not going to draft high enough to get somebody who could replace him. I mean, they're just going to be, in my opinion, a pretty middling team for the next 4 or 5 years, and then they'll just fizzle out. And then they'll start replacing those guys in the draft.
They'll get a first-round pick in 2028 from the Boston Bruins in exchange for North Chelmsford, Massachusetts native Jack Eichel. I'm just putting it out there, just throwing it out. This podcast was almost born from the idea that we wanted Jack Eichel to sign with the Bruins free agency. And I think before our first ever episode, he signed. And it was like, well, I guess we got to do it anyway. And here we are. So,
also McDavid.
Yes.
Stu bought a McDavid Bruins jersey.
I did.
Yeah,
I got that somewhere.
McDavid Eichel center combo.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. While Johnny Busick's still alive, so we can let him wear number 9. It's perfect. Perfect, man. I can't think of anything better than that. Anything.
Yeah.
Did you buy the Hagens jersey yet?
No, well, I don't know what number he's gonna be.
That's been my holdup, man.
I was having this discussion with my dad actually at the Penguins game because I said I went up to use the bathroom between intermissions. The first jersey I saw, like I guess like the concourses at PPG, they're like so much more like compact than the ones at the Garden for some reason, which I wasn't expecting since it's a newer arena. But like no one can walk anywhere. So I just had like whoever's in front of me's jerseys in like middle of my face. It was a Marat Hustadinov home Bruins jersey. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Couldn't believe it.
I said earlier this year, man, I was looking for any excuse to put his name on the back of a jersey. And I could, man.
I want to get one. I want to get one just because of how comically big the nameplate is. I just think it would be funny to own.
I want it going down the shoulders, man. I want it going down the. And I love a good gag like that. I do have a Mikko Rantanen Hurricanes jersey. I do have on my watch list on eBay a 2010 Celtics NBA champions hat that could be in at some point soon. Like I love shit like that. And I'm telling you, dude, if the Bruins sucked, like if after Christmas they were just terrible, like it was last year, I would have got the Hagens thing just to wear to a game and just get the people fired up. But I mean, it's tough. He's worn number 10. He's also worn number 12 for Team USA, and both those numbers are open. So it's a risk. It's a $260 risk on what number he's going to wear.
I mean, if those are both available, I think you'd go 10 just because, I mean, I feel like wearing 12 in Boston is kind of risky after, we all know who I'm talking about, the Patriots.
The guy who blocked that trade the other day, that guy?
So, yeah, that guy.
I
mean...
Craig Smith. Craig Smith legacy.
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably goes 10 just because, I mean, it's his BC number. But, I mean, who knows? They might... Also, it feels like a lot of times these guys get, like, super high numbers to start. And they get a real number once they're 100% on the team. Hagens is probably a little different. I mean, I'd be pretty surprised if he's not on the team to start next year, too, if he's in Providence. But, yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't buy one until I knew what number he was going to be.
So I was
Guys-
surprised McAvoy
Oh,
kept
go ahead.
73. I thought 73 was gonna change
Oh,
at
well,
the end of the year, and
yeah.
then
So
he
I
just kept
guess
it.
because he wears
25 's
25 for
open.
Team
Yeah.
USA. I guess the story was Carlo had 25, so he obviously couldn't take it, so he just stuck with 73. And then I mean he could take it now if he wanted to, but
It's been available. All right, fellas. Last thing before we get you out of here for the day. Should we go Calder Cup hunting? Like, are they gonna win the Calder Cup? The P.
I got a
Bruins?
good feeling about this year's P Bruins team. I mean, I think even I was worried about their odds after Los Balance went down. But I mean, if Reichel comes in and plays in Providence for the Calder Cup run, I mean, that could probably match it. I mean, he's played full seasons of the NHL before. I mean, for the AHL, that's a huge addition.
Dude, Hagens could be playing for him.
I don't know if he could actually, because I think if he burns a year, he's not eligible for the Calder Cup playoffs.
Oh,
So I think his
that.
season's just over when the regular Bruins season's over.
You're
But
probably right. You're probably right.
I know. I mean, Gasso could be
McAvoy
there.
would
Jelvik could probably be there too. I mean, maybe Pelosi. Maybe. I mean, it's hard to tell who's going to turn pro and who's not. I mean, I could see Ryan Walsh from Cornell turning pro.
Keep talking. I got to calm my dog.
But yeah. I mean, I think Providence is a good shot in the Calder Cup this year. I mean, they weren't far off last year from beating Charlotte, who went on a pretty deep run. So.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you think?
I could definitely.
Do you think Hagens gets called up after BC's season ends possibly this Friday? Or, like, I know he might not be able to play in Providence, but how do you think the Bruins will handle Hagens when his BC season ends? And if he does get called up, where do you think he fits with the Bruins? Where would he line up with them?
For me, there's just no doubt in my mind he's going to get called up. I think every prominent prospect in this situation burns a year. So, I mean, I expect him to. If BC loses Friday, I think he signs Saturday. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm sure it's been worked on. When he debuts, I think is a little more of a difficult question, just because I mean, the Bruins play the Capitals Saturday. They're going to be on the road for a few games. I mean, it might be a big ask to ask him to debut at the Bell Center against the Canadians, but I could see the Devils game. I could see the Devils game. If not, I could also see them waiting till they get back home. I am going the Bruins Red Wings game in 2 weeks, so I am hoping he'll be at the lineup if BC does lose. Would like to see that. But
BC's been good at losing lately.
Yeah, I mean,
good at losing.
They have a lot of offensive talent, but I mean, it just seems like they can't get saves at the moment. Their team defense is a little lacking, but I mean, I think it's been a great year for Hagens and Letourneau. I hope they could win on Friday because I do want to see them go on a run. But I mean, if they do lose, I mean, yeah, I'd expect to see Hagens in the Bruins lineup very soon.
Where would you put him in the lineup?
That's difficult because I don't think they're going to break up the second line. At least I wouldn't. Not unless things get really dire and they just have to. The first line, it seems like kind of a big ask, but I mean, it does make sense. I kind of feel like it'll probably be the third line to start. And I mean, I think, just because, it is a big jump. I mean, if you look at Ryan Leonard last year, he did kind of struggle for the Capitals coming out of BC. It was a pretty big jump for him, and he was really dominant for a really good BC team. I'm not saying it's going to be the same way for Hagens. Look at Schaefer this year. He took the league by storm. It just was super easy transition for him. I mean, it's harder for some people than others, I'm sure. But I mean, they have such little game-breaking offensive talent that, I mean, I feel like they have to give Hagens at least a look. I mean, I'm sure he'll get time with Pasternak at some point. If not this year, then very soon next year. I mean, I feel like Geeky's kind of gone quiet a little bit too. I mean, as long as he's with one of those two, I think it'll be fine. I just hope he's not. I just hope they don't put him in some like checking defensive role to start. I think that'd be a mistake. I hope
I'm hoping those days are past us. I'm hoping those
Yeah.
days are past us. Like you could say, I mean, they did put Minton on the third line, but like Minton's play
his
style
game.
is much different than Hagens. You're right. Like he was ready to take on that role.
Yeah, I mean that's
we're
the
past
role that Minton's designed for. I
Yeah.
mean, Hagens is designed to play in the top six. You know,
Jackie,
whether or not
Chucky.
he'll get
Yeah.
that to start, I don't know, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think a lot of it depends on how, you know, the team's playing over the next few games. I mean, if they're losing, I mean, I'm sure they're not going to have any real qualms about throwing him in. But I mean, if they're on like a 4 or 5 game win streak, I could see them kind of being a little hesitant. I don't want to like change a winning team, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I think for the good of the organization, you got to get him in soon. I mean, you can't not have Hagens pan out. If you don't, I mean, then things are really dire if he doesn't. So
I put out a mock lineup with Hagens in it. I put him on the first line with Lindholm and Pasta. And then I kept the second line intact, and I put Kuznetsov on the third. I think Asima and Steves are your odd men out in this lineup. I like that top 12 right there, however you want to maneuver it. But I think, I think he'll go on first or third line. And however you want to switch it up, you can just put Kuznetsov on the first and see how he goes with Mitten and Geeky. It got some traction on Twitter, and I'm actually surprised how many people are just saying, why is Geeky on the third line? And I'm just surprised how people haven't been watching games this year. They thought I just put him on the third line for the first time. I responded.
Wait a minute. You have Mason Lowry as a defenseman? You shitting me, Herb?
I responded to the first 2 comments about Geeky. They're like, why are you putting a 40-goal score on the third line? I'm like, I didn't. Sturm did.
Ask Marco Sturm.
That's the head coach of that question.
I was like, are you watching the games? Please just get back to me. But this is my mock lineup. I think Pasternak's been kind of funk lately. Maybe Hagens is the boost he needs, but it's a lot to ask for a guy. I know he's gonna be playing his first National Hockey League game in a stretch run too. Maybe it's in the Bell Center, maybe it's not, but for your first game, so it's a tough ask. But I wouldn't mind just at least trying him out there, getting some shifts with Pasta, see if it works or not. And then you could always put him on the third if it's not. But I think you just got to put your young players in a position to succeed. And we haven't really had a good history of doing that recently. So I would like to see it, but honestly, if he's on the third line, as long as he's in the lineup with skilled players, Mint and Geek, it's still a good line. So we'll see. But yeah, I hope to see him up next week or so.
Yeah, I mean, I like the look of that lineup, honestly. I mean, I haven't really looked at the lines for my idea too intently. I mean, I just go off what I think is probably going to happen. I mean, I think he probably starts on the third line. It's just my gut feeling, but I mean, I do like the look of that top 9. Honestly, that does look.
If that
solid.
works, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I would love I wouldn't mind that third line spot. Put Kuznetsov fourth line center, but I know it's not the most popular move, but I wouldn't mind doing it. I'd love to keep Kuznetsov in the lineup, and I think you can put him anywhere, to be honest with you.
This is just my opinion. I mean, watching the Bruins fourth line at ice level last night, I'm like, man, like they really need someone who could move on that line. I'm kind of thinking like maybe Kuznetsov drops to like maybe swap Jeannot and Kuznetsov there. Because I mean, Jeannot and Minton worked really well together at the beginning of the year. They can kind of just get the puck to Geeky, just kind of, sort of a heavy line, put the puck in the corners, finishes a check, Minton comes in, tries to find Geeky. I mean, obviously Geeky can just score from anywhere in the zone. So I could see that working pretty well. I mean, I thought Kuznetsov, Kuraly, Kastelic was a pretty good fourth line. They only played together for like the first like 8 or 9 games this year, but their underlying numbers were like really good together. I really like that line the limited time I saw it. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to open up a lot of possibilities. It's going to be interesting to see what they do there, in my opinion.
Interesting stuff. Eamonn McLean, Black and Gold Hockey. Dan Conlon, Garden Level Podcast. Cam Stuart, Garden Level Podcast. Wicked Boston Show on 365
GLP.
Sports. Fellas, I appreciate you. How about that GLP gang for life, man? I can't do a G. L. And you guys don't want to see me do the P. Anyway, GLP squad. Eamonn, thanks for coming on again, man. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to be on.
We'll go and get our Hagens jerseys together as soon as he announces it. I'll DM him on Instagram, see what number he's going to wear. Dan, shout out to you. Always. We got to get going. Thank you to you guys. Find us on Twitter, TikTok, and of course, here on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. And damn it, man, go Bruins, right? It is. It has been. And next time it will be as well. The Garden Level Podcast.